Imagine this. It is early morning in Japan, in the early 17th century. A thick mist hangs over the mountains. On a deserted beach stands a man with a wooden sword. He waits. Within minutes, he will fight the most dangerous rival of his life. The outcome will decide whether he is remembered as a legend or forgotten as a failure. This is the story of Miyamoto Musashi, the man who fought hundreds of duels, never lost, and changed the way of the samurai forever. Musashi was born in 1584, during one of the most chaotic periods in Japanese history. Warlords fought for power, castles burned, and honor was paid for with blood. From a young age, Musashi became obsessed with the sword. He had no official master, no wealthy family, no clan to protect him. Everything he learned, he had to teach himself, through endless trial, error, and relentless practice. At only 13 years old, he fought his first duel. His opponent was a grown samurai. The fight lasted barely a minute. When the dust settled, the samurai lay dead, and a boy stood with blood on his blade. From that moment on, Musashi roamed across Japan, always seeking the strongest warriors. In a time where honor was often decided by the sword, he challenged anyone who crossed his path. Some were feared samurai, others were masterless ronin, and again, Musashi won. But what made him different was not only his strength, he broke the rules. Where most warriors fought in perfect form and style, Musashi often used brutal improvisation. Sometimes he fought with a wooden stick instead of a katana. Sometimes he fought with two swords at once, a technique no one had seen before. His name spread like a storm. To many, he was not just a warrior, but a monster that seemed impossible to defeat. His most famous duel took place in 1612 against Sasaki Kojiro, the demon of the West, known for his lightning-fast technique called the swallow cut. The duel was set on a small island. On the day of the fight, Musashi arrived deliberately hours late. When he finally appeared, he wore no armor. He carried only a wooden sword he had carved from a boat's oar during the trip. Kojiro, furious and impatient, drew his famous long blade. He charged forward with a deadly strike. But Musashi dodged, countered with his wooden sword, and crushed his rival's skull. One blow, one victory. From that moment, his legend was unshakable. Yet Musashi was more than a fighter. He understood that the sword was only a tool. The true weapon was the mind. Later in life, he withdrew to the mountains. There, he wrote his famous book, the Book of Five Rings. It was not merely a guide to sword fighting, but a philosophy of strategy, discipline, and life itself. In that book, he explained that true victory does not come from brute force, but from perception, patience, and the ability to understand your opponent before he understands you. His lessons are still studied today, not only by martial artists, but also by leaders, entrepreneurs, and thinkers across the world. Musashi died in 1645, sitting in meditation with his sword at his side. He was 61 years old, remarkable for a warrior of his time. His legacy lives on. In films, in books, in legends, he is remembered as the ultimate samurai. But perhaps his greatest lesson was not how he fought, but how he lived, with discipline, with dedication, and with an unbreakable will to keep improving himself. And so the question remains, what truly made Musashi unbeatable? Was it his strength, his technique, or his spirit that never broke? What do you think? Could you live with the same discipline and focus as he did? Let me know in the comments.